You're watching DCTV Denton Community Television.
Follow your dreams, and they say, do what you want.
Hi everyone, and welcome to the show. Today we wanted to talk about the Thin Line Film Fest, which is coming up in Denton, and I have Josh Butler here today. Josh, thank you for being here.
Thank you. I'm going to turn around. I didn't realize we were over there. Hi. Oh, no. Hi, people.
And so you started this a number of years ago. Which this is the 5th year?
Sixth.
Okay.
Thanks for counting.
So we were just talking about numbers. Now you have more than 75 films in this particular film fest coming up.
There are about 77. Last year, I think we had about the same number. The difference this year is that we have a lot more features than shorts. Last year, I think we did like 45 shorts and maybe 20-something features. And this year, it's actually more like 39 features and then 30 shorts. So we're moving more into the feature area, which is. I mean, I like that.
Yeah.
It means you're getting higher quality stuff.
I feel like you're getting more high level.
Yeah, it's easier to make a short film.
Yeah.
So there's more of them. You get more short films submitted to you.
Yeah.
And really, the upper echelon, the higher quality feature films, they're just hard to come by. So the fact that we can program more of them means that we're getting more of them.
Yeah. Now, how long is a short?
That's a great question because some of these shorts can be kind of long. Technically, our rules say that a short is anything under 40 minutes, so it has to be 39 or less.
Oh, okay.
And a feature is 40 or more.
Oh.
So there is that weird middle ground where you'll have some shorts that are in the 30-minute range or the high 20-minute range. Or you'll also get a feature that's 50 minutes, 55 minutes. So there is that weird middle area, but I'm of the mind that documentaries really shouldn't be that long anyway. I like documentaries to be in the 70-minute range myself.
Yeah, that's a long time to sit.
And it's different with a narrative film where you can craft everything and you have full control over everything. So you're able to create a product that's easier to take in as a viewer, and so you're less likely to pull yourself out of the content. Whereas with documentaries, you're seeing a lot of talking heads, you're seeing content that isn't perfectly crafted,
Yeah, more
it's raw almost.
Real,
it's not really raw, but it's more raw than your standard Hollywood narrative film.
Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah.
And some of the subject matter, quite frankly, can be hard to take. Documentary filmmakers, for some reason, don't really travel the world filming happy stuff, Traditionally, a lot of documentary films are about the worst off in the world and the areas of the world that we're not really aware of the problems that they deal with on a daily basis.
Military conflicts that affect everyday people.
Or not having water or, whatever it may be. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff happening, around the world that we're just, we don't pay attention to every day.
Yeah. So how has the fest grown over the years? The progress. I mean, it seems like it's just grown every year and gotten bigger and bigger.
And that's that's my own neurosis. I feel like if I'm not moving forward, then I can't be standing still. I have to keep doing bigger and better and bigger and better. And that definitely comes out with the festival. Last year was a big jump for us. We went from a 6-day festival to an 11-day festival.
That's a big jump.
It's a huge jump. I mean, we essentially doubled the size of the festival last year in terms of screenings. In fact, doing that meant that we screened more documentary films last year than any other event in the state of Texas.
Really?
That includes South by Southwest, that includes Dallas International Film Festival. So we can officially say now, starting last year, that we are the biggest documentary event in Texas.
That's great.
Yeah. So yeah, bigger, better, bigger, better. This year, I mentioned the kind of adjustment to features, which I'm really happy about, but also we're spending a lot more money for filmmaker travel and bringing filmmakers into the city.
Really, yeah.
In the past, we had done like one night at a hotel. This year we're doing 2 nights at a hotel. Further incentive to bring them here and have them experience the screening, along with the audience.
Yeah, that's great.
That really makes the festival experience, I think.
Oh, sure.
Watching that content and then either seeing the director or the subject right there and being able to converse with them.
Really?
Maybe have a glass of wine with them after the screening. That's an experience you just don't get going and seeing a movie at the local movie theater.
Yeah, I've always enjoyed that the last few years of the festival that I've been.
Right, and we've always
meeting
wanted
the
more.
people, yeah.
And it's hard to do because people live all over the world.
Yeah.
And it's an international film festival, and when you try and fly someone in from London, it's $800. Or India, you're looking at $1,500, $1,600, $1,800.
Yeah.
So it can be incredibly expensive. So this year we're actually spending a lot more money on travel, and I think that's where the money should be. We've been able to kind of reduce our costs along on the unimportant things and really now put that money where I think it's going to really benefit the quality of the festival experience for everyone.
And a lot of local organizations have been very generous.
That's another year, and this is another thing in which this year has been a big growth for us, is in community partners. We do this program every year where nonprofit organizations can partner with us. We provide the organization with a couple passes and some tickets, and in return, we just ask for some cross-promotion, some Facebook posts, maybe forwarding some emails about the festival to your membership. We'll also let you partner with a film if it kind of matches what your organization's goals and missions may be. So this year we have 25 community partners, and I think last year maybe had a half dozen.
Really?
So that's a huge increase from last year.
That is. That's great.
So really happy with community involvement so far this year.
Yeah. We were talking a little about some of these. We're talking about Blood Brothers, and they were involved with the Sundance as well as this fest.
Blood Brother. Don't want to, hate to correct you, but it's singular, and they did just make their world premiere at Sundance, which was just, I'm not sure when it's going to air, but it was the end of January, and they had great success. They received the Audience Award and also the Grand Jury Prize in the documentary category.
Really?
And I'm not sure if this has happened recently, but from the way everyone was talking about it, hasn't happened in a while, winning both of these kind of top prizes in that category.
Really?
It's a really moving, amazing film, and it deserves the accolades. So we are lucky enough to open our festival with this film. So it makes its world premiere at Sundance and then comes right here to Denton to screen here for its Texas premiere. And that means we got this film before South by Southwest, before Dallas International Film Festival.
That's great.
Yeah, they're coming here. So, and the filmmakers will be here, and maybe even the subject. We'll see if it all works out in our favor.
Where was it shot?
The film is about these two friends. One of them is a filmmaker, the other is not, and it doesn't really have a purpose for his life, doesn't really know what he's doing, and wants some meaning, I guess, to life. And so he saves up his money and decides he's going to go travel India for a month. And so him and his friend, the filmmaker, go to India to travel India. So the first couple days they somehow end up at this children's orphanage in this remote town of southeastern India, kind of near the ocean. They end up in this orphanage for children with HIV. Which apparently is a huge problem in India. UNICEF says there's 250,000 kids diagnosed or infected with the HIV/AIDS virus, and that a new one is born to a mother infected every 30 seconds. I mean, it's just insane the rate that's happening over there. So he ends up at this orphanage and just connects with these kids, or they respond to him in a way that he just feels, you know, that like all of a sudden his life means something, you know.
Yeah.
And just so he just develops this connection with these kids and really kind of falls in love with these kids, and ends up spending 3 years there. You know, giving as like a big brother type to these children that have probably one of the worst lives on the planet, you know, and yet they still wake up every day happy, and they still have tons of energy, and I think they kind of fed off the energy of this guy. His name's Rocky Brought, and he ultimately decides to stay there and dedicate his life to these children. And you know, this probably isn't shocking to anyone in a movie about children with HIV. Not all the stories have happy endings, you know? I mean, it's really rough at some points.
Sure.
It's incredibly moving, actually. And you know, being a recent father, it was you know, really hard to know that you know, what these kids are going through on a daily basis over there. And so then the film kind of came into place because his friend, the filmmaker, you know, is with him, kind of documenting all of this, and ends up making a couple more trips, and the story ends up becoming about him losing his friend to this new life of giving to these infected children in India, and really the loss of his brother, you know, his blood brother, to this new life of his. So really, really moving film that deserves the awards. It's probably going to go on to tons of success throughout this year, and Denton audiences have a chance to see it first at Thin Line.
Okay, so stay tuned and check out a clip from this film, and we'll be right back.
Brother Rocky.
Kids call me Rocky, and Anna basically means big brother.
Rocky and
I was never intending to go to the AIDS orphanage. It was never my plan. I didn't really like kids, to be honest with you. Being there, seeing that they're in despair and they're hopeless, and you're like, man, they're kids. They've been seeing faces their whole lives, just people who are in and out. I can't take any of them out of that situation, but I can put myself into it. And then I made a decision. I was, man, like, I need to move there. I'm going to be suffering all the time. And I think that's fair to be afraid. I don't want to get close to anyone. I hate being close to people. There's freedom in not being close to anyone because you don't get hurt. There's like a sense of madness that comes with loving things that can come and go from your life. Especially when you lose people that you planned on loving long term. Just crazy that you could be trying to do something good and be met with so much opposition. I think every man or every woman, they want their life to count. Even when I was working at many of my different jobs that I've worked, at the end of the day, I was like, man, this is so meaningless. You know, I was making lots of money, but if I died, like I wasn't making an impact on anything, really. That bothered me. I don't know. I feel like sometimes people just think I'm crazy. Times like that, I feel really alone. When you stay together, you work together, you fight together, you cry together. Hopefully you die together. We all need love.
Okay, thanks for checking that out. And Josh, tell us about some of the other films that we're going to see some clips of.
Cool, thank you, Mike. I know we talked a little bit long earlier, but some of the films that we want to mention to everyone to check out. We have 2 music documentaries this year. The first is called Snarky Puppy Ground Up. It's from last year's Denton Doc Award winner, Andy LaViolette. This is about the formerly Denton-based band Snarky Puppy, which now has a lot of popular friends up in Brooklyn. The other music film we have is 4 Nights in December. This is by a local filmmaker named Patrick Flaherty, and this is about the band Trebuchet. And immediately following the screening, they're playing at Dan Silverleaf, so they can come to the premiere, world premiere, and then go watch them at Dan Silverleaf.
That's great.
Another big movie we have this year is Five Broken Cameras. This movie is currently nominated for an Oscar. The Oscars are at the end of February, so Thin Line is your opportunity to see this movie on the big screen before the big awards ceremony. We have a movie this year which is for like the veterans. It's called The Lost Reunions. Normally, I don't really get into these kind of old war history, veteran type films, but I really got into this one for some reason. It's about these PT boaters that come together for a reunion every year, and about how that reunion just slowly has gotten smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller as the years go on.
Yeah.
But it's the way they conducted the story I thought was really well done. And then we have a film from a UNT professor named Eugene Martin called The Anderson Monarchs. It's about an all-girls soccer team in inner city Philadelphia that kind of beats everyone, and no one expects them to. They're really, really good. They were considered Sports Team of the Year by Sports Illustrated in 2008.
Really?
So that's a really good film. And then before we end, I want to just mention that we have 3 venues screening movies on Valentine's night. So we know it's a big movie night. Grab your date, your wife, your whatever, and your husband, and come on and come to a screening at Thin Line. We're screening at the Campus Theater, the Fine Arts Theater, and we're also screening at Cool Beans. We're doing a theater set up there. We're calling it Fry Street Theater. We're screening The Burning of Fry Street there, and like a 5-year in memoriam because Chris Largent, rest in peace. And yeah, so that's Valentine's night. And of course the big feature that night, Ballad of Genesis and Lady J. Just real quickly, this is about some English punk rockers that a man and a woman, they're in a relationship and they change their physical appearances to look like each other. And we're talking like radical physical shifts in appearance so that they look exactly like each other. Very, very movie about a modern love story. So that'll be an interesting one for Valentine's, and we really hope everyone can come out. ThinLineFilmFest.com if they want to see any of the summaries or trailers or schedule or further descriptions, photos of all the films, please check it out.
So how many shorts are there this year?
There's like 30. There's 8 shorts programs. So and then 3 that are paired with other films.
Oh, okay.
So there are 8 blocks of shorts, with each program has about 4 or 5, maybe 6 films in it.
That's great. Thank you, Josh, for being here. I appreciate it very much.
Thank you, Mike, for having me.
And thanks for watching, and check out the clips, and we hope to see you at the Thin Line Film Fest.
My name is Kyla Candy. I play for Anderson Monarchs under 12.
This is a game where you only need a ball.
I went to the inner cities because that's where the future of this game is.
Let's go, Monarchs!
We're going out to the field where the practice gets broken up by gunshots.
This kid just got killed like a week ago in Kensington that he's seen grow up his whole life.
The field itself is overused, dirty.
We've got to clear condoms and drug needles and broken bottles off the field.
The program obviously isn't just about soccer, is it?
Never was. It was always about education, mentoring, guidance.
There aren't a lot of avenues for the girls in the urban population.
People who are in the city, they see us play, then they want to get into playing soccer.
Do you think soccer's going to take you places?
Yeah, I love soccer.
Soccer's a way out. What is trebuchet? Rock band. But what is like physical trebuchet? It's like this machine, this catapult that shoots diseased cows over castle walls. And those diseased cows kill the people inside of the castle.
What does that do to the band?
I mean, I have no idea. When I first heard it, I didn't know what it was. I was like, cool band name.
Trebuchet is a little rock band in Denver that likes to play music, likes to get down.
It's straight up rock and roll, man. It's what moves you. It's what shakes your drawers and makes you clean them out at night.
But the music actually will take you somewhere, you know, like a good story. And everybody in the band has their own different influences.
When they play, you can just feel the energy coming off the stage.
When you take a group of musicians like Trebuchet and you have them playing songs that they're just so wholly giving themselves into, and that energy they're putting out there, and you have the crowd feeding up the energy and giving back to them, that whole exchange, that there's nothing better watching a band that's capable of doing things like that. That's the show.